So, what it do, good people? How y'all doing? Today's been a crazy busy day. Of course, I've been ripping and running all day long, and I wanted to share a few things with you guys that I feel is super important. Of course, it's another day, no justice for Breonna Taylor, but I'm not interested in talking about the situation involving Breonna Taylor. I want to talk about a situation involving myself tonight and what's going on with the case or the cases that I was involved with. So, of course, I had 3 cases already with Detective Brett Hankerson, the cop that is being charged with the wanton endangerment charges involving Breonna Taylor. I had 3 cases with him. 2 of them was grand jury cases, and I beat those cases. Also, I had an incident where I had gotten into an altercation in a club and I had broke somebody's jaw. I ended up beating that case too because it was deemed as self-defense. But what I want to share with you guys is, upon me beating those cases and, pretty much getting away from the charges that Brett Hankerson was trying to stick to me, what happened is he had then sent another detective my way, a detective by the name of Detective Cole Gibson, which also participated in the Breonna Taylor situation. His name has not came up. Y'all not aware of this guy, but I know for a fact he participated in the Breonna Taylor situation because I have video footage proving that Detective Cole Gibson was there on the scene. But the story that I want to share with y'all today and why people need to pay attention to what's going on is because last October, Detective Cole Gibson and about 15 to 20 other cops, they executed a search warrant on my property at my home that I had just purchased. I had purchased my home in April. They executed the search warrant October of last year, 2019. So upon this situation going down, anytime a police officer executes a search warrant, they have to give you paperwork. Fortunately, I was not home when they executed the search warrant. My girlfriend, my sister, and my stepson was home when they executed the search warrant. I was at Ford Motor Company. They left my house. Well, they didn't leave my house. Another team came to Ford Motor Company, and they came and got me. When they came and got me at Ford Motor Company, they took me to my barbershop and then executed a search warrant on my barbershop as well. So, with all this stuff happening, this stuff took place over the course of 3 to 4 hours. They had my home occupied, my business occupied, and myself occupied. So upon this stuff taking place, what happened is, they have to give me the paperwork. The paperwork proving that, they had the rights to execute a search warrant. Basically, they got to give me a copy of a search warrant. I never received a copy of a search warrant. I received a copy of what I would like to call an order. And what I want to do is I want to break this news to you guys because I think it's super important that we realize what's going on here in our city. Upon me doing my research, I realized there's been other people who have been taken advantage of through these fake search warrants or this falsified paperwork. And the scary thing about this situation, I'm of the belief that the judges and the lawyers and other people are all in on this situation, which scares me because that means that, we as civilians, we stand no chance. If the lawyers is in on it and the judges in on it and the police, how are we able to, get out of that when we got all of those people against us? So what I want to do, I want to break down basically what's going on with the situation and what's going on with my situation. My situation with my search warrant has been sealed for the last year. This happened last October. I've been trying to obtain paperwork for the last year. Now, what happened is I ended up filing a motion a couple weeks ago. I put in a motion for them to unseal my case. Well, initially, when I put in a motion to get some paperwork because I had no paperwork. And there was a lot of damage done to my house, and I wanted to get my house taken care of. So I filed a motion stating that I need paperwork and I needed a case number so, I can move forward with getting this situation resolved with the damages that was done to my house. Well, I never was given a case number, and the judge denied my motion that I had put in for them to release the paperwork to myself. So what happened is the next day I came back. I got in a law book, read some things. Next day I came back and I explained, the law book and certain penal codes that I was aware of, and I wrote those down and I explained them to the judge, and I put that in my motion. So 2 weeks later, which is today, the judge granted me. They unsealed my case. They granted me my motion, and they unsealed my case. So of course, now that my case is unsealed, I go down to the courthouse, and I spent most of my day today down at the courthouse. I go down to the courthouse, and I try to retrieve stuff like a discovery, case number, and stuff like that. Because mind you, this stuff happened last October, and I've never been to court for it. I've never got the proper paperwork or the proper search warrant to prove that this stuff, was executed lawfully. So upon that, I go down to the courthouse today, and the records department, which is, I went to both courthouses today, the new courthouse and the old courthouse, district court and circuit court. I went to both courts. They kind of gave me the runaround. So I ended up in a woman's office by the name of Tanya Hatzman. Now, Tanya is the keeper of records, and she's the supervisor, I believe, down at that situation as far as the clerk's office, district clerk office. She's the supervisor, I believe, down there, and she's in control of pretty much the records. And only way I can get paperwork is pretty much going through her in her office. So upon, going down there and trying to retrieve my paperwork, my discovery, my case number, and all this stuff, I was told that I don't have a case number. And I was also told that they cannot give me a copy of my discovery because they don't have a copy of my discovery. Now, this place is supposed to be the keeper of records, which blows my mind, because how can you not have a copy of my discovery when a discovery is, a big part of what's going on, and the fact that a search warrant got executed on my home. On top of that, how do you not have a case number? She told me there's no case number. So then I asked her, I said, how are you guys keeping track of my name and my paperwork if you don't have a case number? Because normally your case number is what they use to keep track of your paperwork and everything, and to track you in the computer, the whole nine or whatever. So I start to ask this lady a few questions, but then I start to realize that this lady was participating in corruption. So I wanted to expose this because you might have a loved one, a friend, or a family member, or somebody that that is been taken advantage of by our justice system. Basically what's going on, we are being denied records and paperwork, which is illegal. As a clerk, their job is to be a public servant. Their job is to get our records and answer questions that we may have when it comes to our records. That's their job. That's what they get paid to do. And believe it or not, that office makes over $33 million a year, arresting people and executing search warrants and stuff like that, and taking care of our paperwork. They pull in over $33 million a year. So I wanted to go live and speak on this publicly because I'm looking to have this woman subpoenaed. But upon me, doing my research on this woman, Tanya Hatzman, what I realized about the lady is I'm not the only person this has happened to. There's been other people that's been involved, and other families, and that have been taken advantage of through being denied paperwork and denied access to proof that these search warrants are real and that they have been executed lawfully. So what I want to do is I want to call someone. I have been doing my research, and I've been studying for a while. I wanted to call someone that I know personally. Her husband and even herself has been taken advantage of with these fake search warrants. So I wanted to call her, and I wanted her to break down exactly what's going on in her case, because there's some similarities going on in my case and her case, not to mention there's other cases all throughout the city. So I wanted to possibly try to get her to break down what was going on with her situation, so you guys can possibly hear it, from somebody else's mouth other than myself, so y'all know exactly what's going on here in the city. Hello? Hey, what's up? I'm on Facebook Live, and I was trying to see if I can get you, if possible, to speak on the situation that's going on with your case.
Okay. A lot of my case has been held.
If you can, turn your phone up as high as you can.
Okay, can you hear me?
Can y'all hear? Let me see if the audience can hear you. Hold on. All right, let me turn you up. All right, speak now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, well, most of my case has been withheld because, if people really understood what was going on, like, shit would hit the fan, I guess.
Right.
But they've been withholding it, and they've been kind of like sweeping me under the rug, because they know, like, if my story gets out and people start understanding what they're actually doing, then people are gonna go start, like, looking into their own cases and things. But it's kind of messed up, because, like,
Not to cut you off, can I want to backtrack a little bit, because first of all, the people, I don't know if you care to break down, what's going on in your case name wise or anything, but I think it's important that the people understand that who are the people who are playing a role in the fact that they're covering up corruption and denying people like me and you access to our paperwork and search warrants, etc. So I guess what I'm asking you to do is, if you can, be as detailed as possible as far as what's going on with this situation.
Okay, what's going on is LMPD are domestic terrorists, and everybody kind of helps them out. Everybody's in on it. Everybody from the lawyers to the prosecutors, the judges, everybody's in on it. Fortunately, I was able to do my own research in my own case, because after witnessing what happened in my husband's case, seeing him be railroaded or whatnot, I basically just didn't trust anything that came from anybody. So anything that was submitted into my case, I would go and I will research it for myself and go make sure that it was done properly, or it was a, like, legal document. So I did a lot of research at the court with the court clerks, who actually helped me basically find all these papers.
Right.
So, what do you want to know?
I guess my question for you, because I know you've done your homework, I've done my research on your situation. I know that you are pretty much in the same boat as me, because you have a civil suit that's pending and all that good stuff. So I know you know how to do your paperwork. I know you know what's real, what's fake. I guess my question to you would be is, can you break down to me and the people what exactly is going on with these fake search warrants, and how are they able to pull the situation off as far as executing fake search warrants and not necessarily getting caught? Like, what does it take for them to pull something like that off, and how exactly are they doing it?
Okay, so what they do is they profile. I'm not going to say they profile only black people, because they profile poor people. Just put it that way. Because I went as far as basically contacting the FBI about this in 2017 once I found out what was actually going on. So they'll profile you, and then they'll just kind of like, oh, yeah, we know he's going to have some drugs or a gun or something in that house if we go in there. And because he has like a past or something like that, the public's not going to give a damn to even go look into anything we do. So they'll come into your house without a search warrant, without a legal search warrant. They'll basically terrorize you, and they basically coerce you into, like, making statements. If you look at the last few people that have been incarcerated by LMPD, they always say that the person made a statement or something like that. So what they do is they terrorize you for like hours until they can get something out of you if they don't find anything illegal in your home. And then they'll lock you up by taking and writing a citation, which is not a charging document. It's basically just a promise to come back to court, or what we may know as like a traffic ticket.
And that's the trick. That's the trick that I recognize, and I'm glad you're aware of that. Basically, what they're doing when they're running in your house, pretending to have a search warrant, they don't have a search warrant. They might have a piece of paper that says it's a search warrant, but it's not a legal document.
Yeah, most of the time they won't even have that. Like when they came in my home, they didn't have anything, and they had terrorized us for like 6 hours and tortured us pretty much, and like it was just bad. It's bad. It's so bad that I really can't talk about it because I'll get like really emotional, and I'm coming up on my trial and stuff, so I'm trying to save all this energy. But what they did to me and my family, like I literally stood naked in front of the whole SWAT team while they pushed and jabbed me with their guns in the back of my neck and my back and just all over my body, because number one, they thought I was lying about my husband's name. Okay, if you did an investigation, the least you could have done was known what his name was. My husband's name was legally changed. He was sworn into the Jefferson County Courthouse 5 years before they came to my home. So, number one, the fact that they didn't even know his name, I knew something was up. But because that was only the beginning, and I had to go through like 5 more hours of being tortured and my daughter being held hostage. My daughter didn't have any clothes on. And they basically ripped her her bed. Oh, God.